Let's just be thankful this isn't 30 years later where the company would get crucified for mentioning even a single entrant in the Royal Rumble match. Also, I'm going to take a sit out because there's no better way to let the fans watching know what's taking place tonight than a quick run through of the upcoming match card. That way, first time watchers would instantly know what they're in for without a problem.
Not even Mickey Mouse and Goofy could get in here!
Because they are animated characters who could care less about the WWF. Well, maybe except for Mickey Mouse in the later years. Also, why is Jesse the Body Ventura wearing a Mickey Mouse costume complete with the ears? Meanwhile, Tony Schiavone isn't wearing any sort of costume.
I caught them both trying to sneak in the back door!
That sounds far more entertaining than Jesse randomly complaining about it. If only we could see a flashback.
I'll put it on later.
Tony never puts on the Goofy hat at all. Quite a shame too. It would have been awesome to see them both in costume during the Royal Rumble.
Tag team, I don't think there's any question about it.
This opening tag team match between the Fabulous Rougeaus and the Bushwhackers begin with Luke and Butch inside the ring while Jacques and Raymond are on the outside. So I guess the Bushwhackers must fight each other until further notice. Nearly the first 3 minutes of this match is the Bushwhackers marching around the ring while the Rougeau brothers awkwardly standing around in confusion on whether or not this match will actually take place.
Start things out! Watch out!
Well, that was something that just happened.
He's biting the referee!
Biting is a sin in general, but how did this not cause the Bushwhackers to get disqualified since Butch bit the referee intentionally? This wasn't an accident or anything, that's what he does.
That should have been an immediate disqualification.
Jesse Ventura would be great at CinemaSins 2 expansion. He'd definitely go wild if he were in charge of the sins like I do. Is this match ever going to actually be entertaining? Whenever the Bushwhackers are not biting referees, the Rougeau brothers are just hugging each other as well as Jimmy Hart.
Look! He missed! No!
Jacques Rougeau is a dick to his own partner by standing in the position he was in and ducking out of the way just so Raymond could take the damage instead. What an asshole.
They're not doing any cheering at all!
One would think that the Bushwhackers would at least march their way to the hugging Rougeau brothers on the outside by now, since this is the 5th time in the last 2 minutes that the scene has played out, but they do not.
The 4th or 5th time, Bushwhackers have been biting.
And it's shockingly not as much as the amount of times the Rougeau brothers have been hugging each other outside the ring.
Schiavone, just as
Luke reacted way too late from Jacques' elbow shot. Not a good start to this Royal Rumble event at all.
be over. And here comes Butch again.
Butch must secretly be under Jimmy Hart's payroll because he keeps trying to interfere and distracting the referee in the process, which allows the Rougeau brothers to continue their onslaught of Luke. Can you make it like a Bush and whack off? Wait, no, let me try that again.
They have been fired up for this match.
With how poorly the crowd reacts to the majority of this opening tag team match, I highly doubt that, Tony.
Down on the knees!
Landing on Luke's knees somehow turns Jacques into a fish out of water. Jacques sees Butch coming toward him and doesn't even try to protect himself or counter. Did he just give up?
Oh, they've got Jimmy!
Jimmy Hart always gets tossed around all over the ring cliche. How about instead of teasing the fans that they're going to do something potentially kinky to Jimmy Hart, the Bushwhackers actually just do it so they won't get countered? Virgil's I really wish I were not here right now face. Amazed that it took years of abuse from Ted DiBiase before Virgil realized that maybe he shouldn't be around him.
Virgil, did I ask you to draw the number? Tell him. No, shut up.
Ted DiBiase asked Virgil to confirm that the latter did not draw his number for the Royal Rumble match, then tells him to shut up even though Virgil wasn't going to say anything anyway.
This is number 1!
Thanks for the spoiler alert, asshole. I don't mind knowing who's all in this Royal Rumble match, but why spoil the actual numbers? That's my understandable complaint.
The Genius has a poem.
I'd rather not hear what the genius has to say and get straight to his match with Brutus the Barber Beefcake, so skip!
And we're
The bell rings to begin this next match with Brutus still having the shears in his hands. Fair game now, bitches!
perfect. We'll end up out here, hit him over the head with something.
Tony Schiavone just spoiled what's about to happen to Brutus Beefcake in about 10 minutes. What is it with everyone giving out the spoilers 30 minutes into this event? Also, just like the previous match, the action doesn't begin for the first 3 minutes because posers gotta pose, and sinners gotta sin as a result of that. Oh, come on, just wrestle already. I'm already losing my patience with this event and we just got started. Copy genius infringement, I guess. I'm a little too pissed off to really care anymore. Let me know if this gets good or anything. I presume that was supposed to hurt Genius's neck? Well, from my standpoint, that looks more like it would hurt Brutus Reina's beefcake since he's got someone's head literally down there.
Yeah, but he's got to do it first, Tony.
Who dimmed the lights in this shot? Or is the camera fading away? Whatever the case, this is awkward.
Whoa! Oh, the referee!
The referee gets knocked over at the crucial point of the match cliche. Well, here's to hoping at least there's something interesting.
This is horrible!
Actually, I'd say Brutus Beefcake cutting the Genius's hair may be the only entertaining thing about this match, and that is sad.
Is Brutus gonna pay?
The referee calls for a double disqualification despite the fact that he sees Brutus Beefcake on the receiving end of Mr. Perfect's assault, so in actuality, the Genius should be the one disqualified with Brutus winning the match.
Oh!
Constantly ringing the bell is not going to cause brawls to stop. Never worked in the old days, never worked in any other companies, and it sure as hell doesn't work 30 years later.
You got it wrong.
wrong, Mooney. It's not every man for himself.
Yes, it is. Matter of fact, the literal tagline in the build-up to this event is titled, "It's every man for himself." That's what they put on the posters. Also, after the last two Royal Rumble events that took place, Bobby Heenan somehow hasn't figured it out that the match is every man for himself. I could have figured that out from the first one back in 1988. This shot is definitely awkward since Sean Mooney is blocking Haku from the cameras during this interview.
Everybody is happy with their numbers. Let's put it this way.
Bobby Heenan reassures that Andre the Giant and Ravish and Rick Rude are happy with their numbers, but conveniently left out Haku. Damn, it's bad enough that we can't even see his face, but now Haku is being left out of conversations. I feel bad for the guy.
That individual who makes his opponent submit.
I get that submission matches weren't always happening during this era, but that has got to be the most Sherlock Holmes moment I've ever heard. The winner of a submission match is the man who makes his opponent submit. Damn, it's almost like this match is called a submission match. Also, considering that tapping out wasn't a thing in WWF back in 1990, technically this match is an I Quit match, just without the added theatrics of microphones. I don't remember. Is this how Greg the Hammer Valentine always looked? Depressed and not wanting to be here? Or was Jimmy Hart constantly annoying him prior to the match beginning?
The Hammer suffered an injury 9 months ago. It still bothers him.
If that injury was still bothering Greg Valentine 9 months later, it either sounds like an excuse or he may want to get that checked out. I'm going for the former because, well, bad guy.
Garvin did not waste any time.
Probably because Ronnie Garvin saw the first two matches, got bored, and realized that he had to actually perform a good match from the get-go.
Now the match ends.
Howard Finkel literally explained the rules of a submission match while both Ronnie Garvin and Greg Valentine were in the ring, and somehow Ronnie still believed that he could win the match via pinfall.
Now pinfall don't matter.
First, Ronnie was reminded by the referee that there are no pinfalls in the submission match, and now Greg was reminded. You would think this means they won't try that again, right? Oh, but how wrong you would be. See what I mean? Almost the majority of this match are the two wrestlers completely forgetting what type of match they're competing in. It is so irritating.
Can't pin him. Garvin can't pin him.
Seriously, what in the fuck am I watching here? Let's just throw in 20 sins because these guys clearly don't listen to directions or rules. Stop going for fucking pinfalls! Another 15 sins. What are you trying to do? Kill me from irritation 6 years before I even exist in this world? God, I hate time traveling. It's a submission match! Oh god, that one nearly killed me.
This is ridiculous.
The brace on Ronnie Garvin's leg is preventing him from feeling the damage of the figure 4 leg lock, but if I were him, I wouldn't blatantly reveal that to my opponent. I'd pretend to be in pain, and then suddenly fight my way out of it. I'd only reveal my protection after I already beat him. And even then, I don't know if I would reveal it at all.
Every bit as much as using one.
Don't make me bring out my ultimate weapon. Trust me, you do not want me to utilize it. You're just getting another 100 sins. But one more, and this match is fucking history.
Into the corner. Uh-oh.
Greg the Hammer Valentine had already moved out of the way before Ronnie Garvin could even begin to spring up in the air, yet somehow Ronnie believed that Greg was still in the corner and couldn't stop himself. Breathe, Christian. Breathe.
And now the referee calling for a break.
The referee gives Greg Valentine his full 5 count when the latter is using the ropes for leverage and doesn't disqualify him for reasons unknown.
Rolls him over.
Stop! Seriously? Stop!
Rolls him up.
Well, don't say I didn't warn you. Haven't used this thing in a couple years, but I still know how it works. Just gotta slip it on, feel the intense power, and then... Jimmy Hart always gets tossed around all over the ring cliche.
Unhappy about the number they've drawn. Mr. Perfect.
Mean Gene Okerlund says that there are some people who are unhappy with the number they drew for the Royal Rumble match, then proceeded to bring in Mr. Perfect, who conveniently drew the number 30, probably to piss off those who drew lower numbers even more. Mr. Perfect is a dick, but Gene too?
Wait a minute, let's take a look at what happened.
Why bother? We already saw what happened and we have a memory of it too. It was only 20 minutes ago, not 33 years ago. Brother Love is entertaining and all, but this segment involving him, the American Dream Dusty Rhodes, and others goes on way too long. Probably because they realized they had over 2 hours to go before they reached the 3-hour mark and had to spend time doing something.
Jesse, how many?
Tony Schiavone trying to talk over Brother Love. Commentators trying to talk during in-ring segments is always irritating.
I might even go for a date with the Queen.
Sensational Sherry's with the Macho King Randy Savage at this time, but Jesse Ventura thinks he has a chance with her all because she looks great.
To a woman with pineapples above her eyes.
Actually, the makeup on Sensational Sherry looks more like pine cones than they do pineapples. Lot more thicker.
Nice clothes, huh, sister?
Brother Love and Sensational Sherry trash talk Sapphire for like 5 damn minutes before she finally attacks. Like I would have attacked from the first insult instead of standing around looking like an idiot. You couldn't have done that from the first insult? Sherry seriously had to call Sapphire fat before she snapped into reality and realized that she's being insulted?
Like that when you were incarcerated?
Jesse Ventura doesn't even realize that the word is incarcerated and not incarcerated, which is not even a word at all.
Let's just hope that neither get involved in the match.
Even though secretly, Jesse hopes that the Big Boss Man does get his police weapons involved because, you know, bad guy.
Drew and the Boss Man running
I'm sorry, I just can't stop laughing at Hacksaw Jim Duggan accidentally pulling the Royal Rumble curtain along with him as he tries to get away from the Big Boss Man. I guess this event is turning into not the Royal Rumble. Big Boss Man has Jim Duggan literally on the ropes and chooses to pose around instead. Jim Duggan looked to use his arms to whack the Big Boss Man in the head to break the bear hug. Maybe the reason it's not working is because the hands are clapping together before the arms could even get anywhere near Boss Man's head. Damn it, cameraman. I get that Slick is, well, being slick, but you gotta pay attention to the action. Missed the chance to see Big Boss Man leap off the top rope to crash and burn. Wrestler accidentally knocks out his own manager when trying to take advantage of his opponent cliche. Big Boss Man can't even win by cheating in this scenario. May want to find a better strategy next time. That one sad moment when the post-match assault was far more entertaining than the actual match itself.
We have some comments from some of the 30 participants.
And by some of the participants, we mean all the participants. Seriously, this sequence of the Royal Rumble participants being interviewed goes on for nearly 15 minutes. Once again, all because we didn't have enough content to warrant the 3-hour mark and had to improvise.
You know, I might check your stick.
Demolition, remember in last year's Royal Rumble match when they had to fight each other, was a funny addition to this pre-match strategy segment. Well done on that.
And I'm always a winner.
Except when you're not. Warrior, the cameras are behind you. You may want to, like, turn around or something.
We've heard from many of the participants in the Royal Rumble.
And we're not done yet. This is literally an intermission from hearing the wrestlers talk their strategy just to hear more wrestlers talk their strategy. I bet even the fans in attendance are wondering when the hell the Royal Rumble match is going to begin. Honestly, when you think about it, Jimmy Hart is managing a lot of wrestlers competing in tonight's Royal Rumble match. So this is cool and awkward at the same time because he says this wrestler is going to win and then appears on another segment saying this wrestler is going to win, which causes the previous ones to say, what the fuck, man? This guy clearly is drunk out of his mind because he looks like he has no idea where he is. Someone may want to check on him.
And this crowd is loving every minute of it.
Sarcasm. The timekeeper saw that Ted DiBiase was about to assault Coco Beware before the match could begin, then quickly rang the bell to stop me from putting in the pre-match assaults in. You win this battle, but you can't win them all. I've gained so much power already.
And head first. Wrong thing to do.
Wrong thing to do, probably because the turnbuckles are so padded they could easily qualify as pillows.
It could take a clothesline. It could be over right here. Oh, no!
Tony Schiavone just had to jinx Coco Beware's momentum by declaring Ted DiBiase as the first one who could be eliminated. Not gonna lie, I wish that present-day WWE would go back to using the setup. Use a split screen so that we, the viewers, can see who's coming out next while still being able to see the action in the ring, just in case there are eliminations that we end up missing out on, causing confusion. These work very well. Well, that was weird. A punch to the gut activates Ted DiBiase's somersault instincts. Let me try. Oh, that hurt so fucking much. Didn't activate my somersault instincts. Ow! Damn, well, Marty Jannetty believed he could fly and ended up flying out of the ring. See ya bye, Marty. After Coco Beware and Marty Jannetty were attacked by Ted DiBiase before they could even jump into the ring, one would think that Jake the Snake Roberts would realize that and bait Ted into doing that, but instead, he just suffers the same wrath. What is it with Ted DiBiase constantly turning into a fish out of water for almost every hit he takes in this match? Is he doing okay?
Jake Roberts!
What?
Now why would he do that? It's every man for himself.
Jesse Ventura was conveniently quiet throughout the 2 minutes of Jake Roberts getting double-teamed by Ted DiBiase and Macho King Randy Savage. Plus, you ever think that Roddy Piper merely wants to throw out Jake and can't do that if he's tied up on the ropes?
It's gonna take some doing to get him out of the ring.
Except for last year, when it took literally 2 seconds for Hulk Hogan to single-handedly eliminate the Warlord from the Royal Rumble match. But sure, it's gonna take a lot to throw out the Warlord. Sensational Sherry imploring Randy Savage to commit murder on Jake Roberts by continuously yelling for Randy to break his neck. The Warlord didn't realize that he could have simply ducked from the double clothesline of Roddy Piper and Bret Hart. I guess ever since he set the record for the shortest time in the Rumble last year, this match shuts down Warlord's ring awareness. The Spotlights were being a dick to Bad News Brown by hiding him in the shadows when it was his turn to enter. Jake Roberts managed to catch himself on the ring apron after going over the top rope, then decided he was done for the night by pushing himself off the apron at his own will. With how many times Ted keeps throwing himself all over the place and even over the top rope, how the hell did he manage to last 45 minutes in this match? You know what's irritating? The first 4 entrants of the Royal Rumble match had their theme song played as they made their entrance, but then the remaining 26 entrants came out to no music, even those who clearly had theme songs.
Immediately going after the Macho King.
And using the powers of the Force with every bionic elbow to the head as well. Dusty Rhodes is a Jedi confirmed.
Oh, and Andre eliminates the Warlord with one hand.
Not exactly difficult to do when you're Andre the freaking Giant, Jesse, even if it was the Warlord he tossed out.
It's going to take more than 2 of them.
Or you could just ask Jake Roberts to bring out Damien the Snake and cause Andre the Giant to eliminate himself. Worked last year.
Go back into the ring. He pulled.
While it's sadly legal, it's also a sin, because elimination at the hands of an already eliminated participant is always a sin. It's impressive to beat down Andre the Giant, however it's a dumb move when the objective is to throw him over the top rope. Congratulations, Axe, you beat him down, now you gotta pick him back up. Good luck with that.
And he is, without a doubt, the freshest man in there, right?
Wow, Tony, how would I ever figure out that Haku is the freshest man in the Royal Rumble upon entering?
That is unbelievable that DiBiase has lasted.
It's unbelievable mostly because of how much he keeps flopping around in the ring and over the top rope.
It'll take 5, 6, 8 guys to put him out.
Jesse Ventura ends up jinxing Andre's momentum by saying that, because then only 2 wrestlers took him out seconds later. Huh, who would have thought that eliminating Akeem is super easy as long as you bump into him in the middle of the ring? This asshole right here.
I'm amazed DiBiase's still on his feet.
Well, technically, Ted DiBiase wasn't on his feet until Smash lifted him back up. Jesse gotta work on that timing. The Canadian Earthquake jumped the gun a little by heading towards the ring well before the buzzer ever went off. Disqualification.
Snuka working over.
Jesse, it's pronounced Snuka, not Snooka, unless you thought the name was Jimmy's Supperfly Snooka. Obviously, Dino Bravo was upset that his partner was eliminated, but from the way he reacted, it looked more like he was upset that 6 wrestlers got the credit for Earthquake's elimination and he was too late to receive credit himself.
He's going right after Bravo.
Awesome to see the Ultimate Warrior kick ass in the ring following his entrance, but it's awkward to see Smash attacking him from behind multiple times and he just ignores it.
Whoa. Yes.
It was hardly shown due to the camera angle, but it was badass to see Haku hit a super kick to eliminate Smash from the Royal Rumble match.
He's in trouble. Yep. He's
What is it with some wrestlers hanging on to save themselves from elimination only to say fuck it and roll off the apron on their own accord? Hulk Hogan enters the Royal Rumble match and immediately starts crawling over the place like it's slippery. What you gonna do when, oh fuck, I'm slipping over the place, brother?
Hulk Hogan and the Warrior.
Just by this moment right here, you already know Hulk Hogan and the Ultimate Warrior are going for the title versus title main event at WrestleMania 6, and the energy in that audience is amazing. Classic Royal Rumble moment hyping up one of the most classic WrestleMania moments ever.
Here comes Ravishing Rick Rude.
Here's where I'll throw in another 20 cents, because Ravishing Rick Rude absolutely jumped the gun and ran into the ring way before it was time for another 10-second countdown, and he was allowed to participate in the match with that. Reason for the 20 cents? If a wrestler can go into the ring whenever he wants to, why don't all 30 wrestlers do that then? Major flaw.
It's 2-on-1.
It's 2-on-1 with Rick Rude and Mr. Perfect beating down on Hulk Hogan, but I ain't worried because it's freaking Hulk Hogan, who's gonna be back up and win anyway because main character.